when you pick up the phone and you put it to your ear and then you hear a tone and you leave your wish.
Take a walk down Main Street and it feels like you're stepping back into the 19th century.
It's antiques, vintage, and new, all coexisting together.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then these images will tell you thousands of stories.
This exhibition comprises 70 photographs from across her time at the New York Times, which was from 1989 to the present.
And we see what's blooming in Prospect Park.
The spring is an especially exciting time to be here. It's an explosion of energy.
Hello and welcome to Road Trip. I'm Shannon Lanier. Rain or shine, it's the perfect time to head to the Main Street Board Game Cafe on Long Island. And for this road trip, I brought along a few surprise guests. If you're looking for a fun, interactive activity for you and your coworkers or maybe your friends and family, come to the Main Street Board Game Cafe in Huntington. Today I brought my News 12 buddies for a little competition.
Look at this game, Channel 1!
News team, assemble.
Let's go!
Here, you'll also get up to 3 hours of playtime and can select from more than 300 games.
I'm gonna pick Burger Balance because it's similar to Jenga, and I love Jenga.
I love party games and charades, so haha, I'm picking Someone Has Died.
Let's take it back to my childhood with Candyland.
And for my game, I'm picking Just One because I love a game that features a lot of teamwork.
Okay, the next part is easy. Just play. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Woo! However, if you need a little help, they have people on staff to do just that. Neil, what would you say is the most popular game here?
Ticket to Ride. It's one of the most popular games in board gaming history.
10 million sold.
Yes, it's great. Wow. Anyone can play it. It's good for all ages.
What's the newest must-have game?
Well, it just came out a few weeks ago, and this is Wormspan.
Okay.
It's a sequel game to an earlier game from a few years ago called Wingspan.
Why did you decide to open a board gaming cafe in the first place?
Board gaming is a passion of mine. It's the one way today to get everyone in your family at the table, eyes up, technology down, and have a great family moment. And I wanted to bring that to Long Island and Huntington. So I built Main Street Board Game Cafe. We sell board games. We have a library of board games you can play. We have great food, drink, beer and wine, desserts and snacks. And we're trying to be the place to bring your family to have a great night of board games. The food at the cafe definitely comes in handy if you lose a round and have to sit out until it's your turn again. Yay. Oh!
Come on, Shannon.
Win or lose, this is a great place to put down your phones and spend some quality time together. From the Main Street Board Game Cafe, we're Team News 12 on this road trip close to home.
Woo!
Oh!
You win!
Okay, that was a lot of fun, but I need a do-over on some of those games. Well, several artists have been capturing the lives and emotions of people in our area for years. Now they're on display for all to see at Rutgers University. Amanda Lee takes us there.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then these images will tell you 1,000 stories. In this week's road trip close to home, we're at the Zimmerli Museum in New Brunswick.
This exhibition comprises 70 photographs from across her time at the New York Times, which was from 1989 to the present. Michelle Agins is an extraordinarily famous photojournalist, and she has a 5-decade career. Her images are generally featured in newspapers, so this is really wonderful to be able to print them and get them on the walls. These are all from 1994. And it's a series called Another America, Life on 129th Street. It explores gun violence in Harlem, but also the sweetness of communities. The images themselves, just incredibly moving. This is a woman actually from the Stonewall riots. She's sitting in front of pictures of herself. So on the left is her as her quote unquote female self, and on the right shows her when she was a male impersonator.
Another new exhibition here at the museum is the work of George Siegel, which was heavily influenced by everyday people right here in New Jersey.
George Siegel was a New Jersey artist. He lived in New Jersey from about 1942 till his death, and he's very well known for the sculptures that you may see around New York and in New Jersey. This is a very early and important work by George Siegel. It's called The Dancers, and this shows you, his original technique where he would be casting figures in plaster and leaving the plaster white.
So he had this person stand here like this?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and they would have to stand there like that for about 20 minutes. George Siegel would invite people to come to his studio and serve as models, and he always said that he only wanted to work with people that he liked because he had to spend the whole day with them.
George Siegel's work will be here until July, and the Michelle Agents exhibit will be here through December. Entrance to the museum is free, and it's a great way to spend the day indoors.
Wow, beautiful, and you had me at free. Well, take a walk down Main Street and it feels like you were stepping back into the 19th century. A unique town, Chester celebrates history, art, music, theater, crafts, and cuisine. Photojournalist Lori Goliath takes us to this hidden gem along the Connecticut River.
We do have that old New England feeling here. Chester is wonderful. We have beauty. Chester has a lot of natural beauty. We have waterfalls.
There's so much to do in one day here.
We have wonderful restaurants.
There's little shops, galleries.
Gift shops, clothing.
This is the little shop. And it's antiques, vintage, and new, all coexisting together. Artwork, we have everything from fine paintings to really beautiful prints and botanicals, country house living.
There's a huge art culture here.
This is Atmosphere Arch One Glass. So I'm a scientific glass blower that does artistic functioning art. So I make a lot of things for the garden, tiki torches, and then I do classes. I teach to give people the experience of how glass melts. It's just very mesmerizing. I just find it very relaxing.
And we also have music. We have the Norma Terrace Theater, which is part of the Goodspeed Opera House. We have older buildings here from the 1800s, and that is part of the charm of the downtown as well.
Chester Historical Society has been here since about 2000.
They're always providing programs.
We have lots of history about Chester, which translates into history of this whole region.
There's so much to love here.
So this is Little House Brewing Company. We've been here for 6 years. So we brew all different styles of beer. Everything from easy drinking lagers to heavily hopped New England IPAs.
This is the Wish Booth. When you pick up the phone and you put it to your ear, you hear Matthew, the poet, start his poem.
And after this bell, speak your wish in here.
And then you hear a tone and you leave your wish.
We just made a very beautiful wish, and we hope that it does come true.
A wish is your heart's desire. And so speaking your heart's desire out loud, there's nothing more powerful than that.
I think it is a curiosity, but I think it's very positive. And I think it's a wonderful addition to Chester.
It's just a lot of fun here. We're a welcoming town.
Everybody says, oh my gosh, Chester is like the best kept little secret.
Come to Chester, you'll have a great time. There's plenty of things to see and do.
We just have a lot of unique offerings in a very small town.
Kickstart your summer at the 25th Annual New Jersey Seafood Festival. It's returning to Silver Lake Park in Belmar. Scallops, lobster rolls, shrimp, and seafood specialties as far as the eye can see. There will be live music, family-friendly activities, and crafts from local vendors. BrickFest is coming to Connecticut. The convention center is hosting life-size models made from tens of thousands of bricks. Spend the day building with bricks, jump in the giant brick pit, and take a photo with some pretty spectacular models. BrickFest is May 11th and 12th. For more information, scan that QR code. I don't know about you, but I think everything tastes a little better with bacon. So bring on the bacon. Mark your calendars for the 2024 Connecticut Bacon Festival. The free event will be held June 15th and 16th at Maple Farm Park. And they're going to be making bacon everything. I'm talking about food, crafts, songs, and even bacon games. Who knew that even existed? The New Jersey Wine and Food Festival is right around the corner. Mix and mingle with some of the world's finest chefs and winemakers. And of course, there will be plenty of chances to sip, sample, and savor. The festival is May 3rd through the 5th at Crystal Springs Resorts. For ticket information, just scan that QR code on your screen. Welcome back to Road Trip. Now it's time to take a walking nature tour at Prospect Park to see what's blooming.
Prospect Park is home to Brooklyn's last upland forest, and today we're here for a walking tour to see what's in bloom. Let's check it out. Inside this urban green space, we meet up with Hannah Sassoon, our guide. She's an ecological zone gardener with the Prospect Park Alliance.
The spring is an especially exciting time to be here. It's an explosion of energy. The sap has started running, the buds of the trees are starting to swell and burst open.
And leaves and flowers are starting to emerge across this 585-acre green oasis.
This is one of my very favorite plants that emerges this time of year. It's called a trout lily. And it's a spring ephemeral. They emerge really early in the spring before almost anything else and bloom.
Another plant to look out for.
This is a plant called yellowroot. It's also a native plant that emerges very early in spring and blooms with these super delicate fly-pollinated flowers.
You can also find a plant called bloodroot.
It's called bloodroot because if you cut the rhizome and the root underground, it has bright red sticky sap.
There are so many native plants to see.
These are Virginia bluebells. This is a patch of mayapple. They put out a flower underneath the leaf and it turns into a fruit. They were evolved to be propagated by turtles in the woods.
The Prospect Park Alliance offers these nature tours and bird watching tours to the public. But a piece of advice, it's important to stay on the trails.
When people veer off the path or when dogs are off leash, it can actually harm the sensitive plant material that we are putting in place to help make a healthier ecosystem.
The Prospect Park Alliance is adding native plants and trees and creating habitat for the park's hundreds of species of birds and mammals. Paths like this one are also being restored to be easier to identify, and the Alliance is exploring possible routes for new paths in the future. And as the seasons change, so do the plants and the trees. So you'll have plenty of reasons to come back on another road trip. In Prospect Park, I'm Nadia Galindo, News 12.
Oh, you can't get enough of those beautiful flowers. All right, now it's time to head back in time to the Gilded Age of America. Tours of Lyndhurst Mansion open for the season this weekend, and News 12 got an inside look.
On more than 60 sprawling acres sits one of the most significant houses of the 19th century. Welcome to Lyndhurst.
This stunning Gothic Revival mansion in Tarrytown is a masterpiece of art and architecture. And Lyndhurst is open for you to sign up and tour through a trove of treasures left behind by previous owners.
Luckily, Lyndhurst was always sold with its content, so everything that you see here is what was originally in the house.
You'll walk through 2 floors and more than a dozen furnished rooms adorned with lavish arts and original artwork from the Gilded Age. You'll also get a glimpse of what wealth looked like after the Civil War in places like the dining room. Other areas give context to modern concepts.
There's a huge desk in one of the rooms that belonged to Jay Gould, the railroad baron who was the third owner. It's on wheels, and it went from his office to his train car to his yacht. So essentially it was an iPad 100 years before the iPad existed. That's what he wanted.
How interesting. What'll also catch your eye are special exhibitions this season, like this sculpture, magnificently blending authentic 19th century antiques. And through the summer months, jump into the flapper era with some of the original fashion influencers. Between the walls and the landscape, there's something for everyone on this road trip close to home. In Tarrytown, Nikita Ramos, News 12.
History is on full display at a new museum in Passaic County. Amanda Eustace gives us a sneak peek.
Decades after Negro Leagues baseball was played here at Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, the Charles J. Muth Museum, honoring the stadium's legacy and prominent players, opened its doors. Joseph Fulmore Sr. couldn't believe all this history was in his backyard.
This is a renaissance to come and reminisce and reflect on life and history.
Montclair State University officials, in partnership with the city of Paterson, cut the ribbon on the museum. The stadium's only one of two still standing from the Negro Leagues baseball era.
We're able to tell a story that many people don't know.
The museum documents Hinchliffe Stadium's rich Negro Leagues history and more. It's named after Paterson native and MSU alum Charles Muth, who donated $5 million to the project. He hopes the museum provides educational opportunities for Paterson and Montclair State University students.
There's such a rich history, and this history of the stadium, how much it's meant to bring these diverse cultures in the city together as one.
Officials say the museum doesn't just share the contributions of great athletes, but it details a story that transcends sports.
20 Hall of Famers play here. So the quality of baseball here was tremendous. It's the part of New Jersey being a part of the ripple that ends segregation and creates sort of more diversity in the society.
Larry Doby, who broke the color line in the American League, was from Paterson. He had his original tryout for the Newark Eagles right here at this stadium, and it really launched his career and the role that he played in the integration of baseball.
Making sure history, even all these years later, isn't forgotten. In Paterson, Amanda Eustace, News 12, New Jersey.
This year's Sag Harbor American Music Festival is taking place September 26th through the 29th. The free outdoor concert features everything from gospel, blues, jazz, country, and rock. And you know what's pretty cool? Most of the performing artists are from the Long Island area. So plan that road trip to come rock out. You can scan the QR code where you can get the latest updates on the festival.